Hello, and welcome to buckmansmodelmania. Today we're going to be working on the Moomin Issue 63 from D'Agostini. Go ahead and get the book open, and we'll see what we have to do. I think I did not, I didn't even think about it to paint these stairs yet. So, let me get them out. We've got the stairs, we've got some railings. Got some really tight railings right here. And then we have the parts for the next door, which those are always interesting to do. Got two hinges, two doorknobs. That's all the parts out. Set this off to the side. I'm going to pause real quick to get the paint, or paint's right here, but get set up to paint, get the stairs, just get everything that I need to complete this stage. So I will be right back. Okay, so the first thing we're going to have to do is go ahead and clip each of these off, because without clipping them off, then I have to go back and do touch-up paint, and it's can be a little bit of a pain. They're all numbered on the bottom, so I don't need these sprues, to be honest. And these stairs, unlike any of the others, are straight rather than curved. Get rid of that. Every other staircase is curved all the way up. This one comes up to a landing and then goes straight. So let me file these real quick if they need it. Just a quick filing on where the sprue gate was, just to make sure that it's going to be smooth once it goes into the kit, or into the Moomin house itself. We're actually getting quite far in this build. So I brought over some clips. What I'm going to do is just put them on like that. The pins on the bottom don't have to have paint on them, so this will let me paint everything that needs to be painted and and be able to set it down without getting paint all over everything. I actually have the stand for these to my right, so as I get done with these, I'll just be putting them over there. And then make sure, shake the paint up. That should be pretty close to enough. Get a paintbrush, dip it in the paint, and let's start painting. One thing about when they're on the sticks like this, you got to be careful, because I don't know if you saw it, but this one shifted a little bit when I first started painting it. You do not want them to go sailing across the room, which can happen. Then you get paint in places you didn't really want to have it, for sure. I have noticed that you have to come back and go over the paint a time or two just to get it to come out pretty reasonably smooth. It's not going to be 100% smooth. To do that, you need to use an airbrush. And these are stairs, so these could be wood. They're worn. I always try and go the same direction for each coat. See, this way, going short going the short way, the brush strokes look terrible. But if I go back and I just do the long way, these actually look pretty good. Almost look like wood grain. So now I'm going to set this one aside. And I'll come back over here and do these other three. But not very exciting content. I'm going to go ahead and pause the camera here, paint these up, come back once they're done, and then we'll go from there. So I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. The parts have actually been dried for about 20 minutes in my drying booth. Love that thing. It is fantastic because they're not just dried. You know, if they were just dried, I'd be able to scratch the paint off pretty easily. These are actually cured. I love that booth because of that. So the next thing we have to do is we have to put the treads onto the stairs themselves. Right here, haven't had that before. There was an injection mark there sticking up that was going to block the tread from going down all the way. I'm looking. I must have thrown my glue tray out from last night because I don't see it. I think I did because it was actually getting pretty full. And if I didn't, I'll come across it and I'll use it later on. Interesting. Oh, there it is. I'm sitting here looking for my pin vise. It's right in front of me. Let me get this glue cleared off, and I no longer burn it off after being told by Todd that Todd and Jordan that when you burn your CA off of the needle off of a pin vise, it creates cyanide gas, and that's not a good thing. So if you've seen me do it in the past, don't do it anymore. One of these things of do as I say, not as I do. So a little bit of CA there. And then these are going to go 9, 10, okay, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 10, 12, 11, 9. So we're going to take a little bit of the CA and just put it around these holes. To be honest, I don't know whether I used CA before or if I used the white glue. Either way, just as long as you have something that is going to hold it down in place. Like that. And it does say to line up these edges, but pretty much they get lined up really easy because of where the pins are. The locating pins put these parts in place, and then they should be fine. They should not shift from where they're at. So here's tread 10. And you can see why I painted the bottoms of them as well. Some of them before they didn't overhang near that much, but these hang over quite a bit. And to be honest, the glue is just kind of a extra to hold it in place. These pins are pretty firm. They're not going to pop out. The stairs are not going to pop out. That one's sticking up a little bit. And last one, if anything, the top and the bottom stairs would be the ones that would pop out, because those are the places you're going to be making the connections to the rest of the model. Just making sure, should be just like that. Okay, that's what it was talking about. I want you to make sure that this edge matches up or is really close. So let me set this out of the way. And it has banister A, which is this really short one. Pretty sure I'm going to need glue again here in a second. And on here you have a pin, you have a slot. They're pointing those out. And these are inserted to the treads of 1 through 4. So these square areas here is where these risers will go. So let me get a little bit more glue. This is going to be a little bit more important than the other glue I just did. Threads are not likely to come off. The banister might. So let me see, that goes down there. That goes right there. So I'm going to put some glue in the hole right here. And I'm going to put some glue on this tab right here. Once I get those two parts in place, I'll work with the rest. So this is going to come on here like this. This is a little bit tricky because you got to work it around it. That's not going to work that direction. So let me see. Put the pin in here first, maybe. One or the other has to go all the way into place, or very close to all the way into place. Come on. They're trying. Hang on. Let's see. Take a blade right here. I think what the problem is build up in this hole of paint. That's not going to work. There we go. Take a round file in here. That should now work. Because it wasn't, the pin was not going down into the hole. There we go. Now it's into the hole. I can now move these into place. There was enough glue here to grab still. Making sure all of those are in place. And just put a drop of glue wherever I can get into where these risers are at. Just like that. And so there's that first really narrow banister. And this is firmly in place. Glue, I love the fact that CA sets up that quick. So now we need banister C, which is this one that goes onto the landing. And we're going to just do the same thing. We're going to well, this time I'm going to be smarter. I'm going to make sure that the pins will all fit into the holes where they're supposed to. That one can use a little bit of filing. And the holes, I'm sure, were the right size before. What it is that when you paint them, you get a little small layer of paint, and it takes a little bit of the room for the pin away. So you have to come back and work that hole just a hair. So let's see. Make sure all the pins will go down. That one's in, that one's in. Double check that one. Okay. All the pins seat down into their holes. So we're going to put a drop of glue in each hole. Those 3 holes for the pins. And I'm going to this time put some glue into each of the slots where the railings go, so that I can push everything together at one time. If it all falls into place, great. If not, I'll have to work with it a little bit. When you're doing something like this, key thing to remember is your joint is only as strong as the paint, which means that if these things need to be moved a little bit, it's just a matter of getting the paint to let go. And of course, as soon as I put glue on, it doesn't want to go into place. So let's do this again. Come on. I thought about when it went into place before, just gluing it. That was probably the best move. Gluing it where it was in place. Get that one. Come on. That knob's a little bit chewed. Actually, that's the paint on the knob. Okay, there. That one's in place. Make sure these are all set back as far as they need to be. What I'm doing is I'm using my thumbnail to push them back to fully seat them. And so the railings are on there. This one I noticed before was a little bit up. It's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be, or not going to affect the end product. Excuse me. And again. Okay, so next piece, next thing that goes in place is going to be this one. This time I'm going to work smarter, not harder. We're first going to do that little bit there. Do this little bit here. Actually, it's not good. There's no way to get down below there. If it goes into place, just like, come on, last thread, just like that. Like I said, smarter, not harder. I'm going to put a little drop of glue right there on the edge. Same up here. Then we're going to put a drop on the bottom of each of the railings. Or what are they? Are they railings, banisters? I know the whole thing is a banister, but the pieces that go up, are they banisters? Are they railings? I know this is the railing, but what do you call these? Are they just risers? Stairs are funny. So there's the stairs. We still have one piece of railing that goes on here. It does not go on at this time. It will go on to the floor once we attach the stairs, I believe. Let me take a look. Yeah. When we do the stairs, this piece should go. Come on, get in there. Should go in there like that. So let me set this off to the side. Leave the stairs there. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move on to the door. Let me move some things around. I'll be right back and we'll build that next door. Okay, I've got the pieces to the door kind of laid out. And I've started using a pin vise and pin for regular glue as well. It seems to work just as well. So first thing they want you to do is to take this bottom of the door here and the side of the door with the curved part of the door, and we're going to glue them together like that. That may take a minute to set up. I may pause, may have to pause, because it does sometimes not want to set really quick, even though we're using wood glue. So we shall see. So let me push this into place. These doors actually tend to be the most complicated part of these builds. That part fell off when I looked away. Wanted to get the wax paper so I could actually push it down without having it stick to the desk. So let's put a little bit more glue in there. That's a little bit too much. We'll set this down and push it into place. Come on. Let that sit for a couple seconds. And then while I turn the page, and the next part we're going to do, well, the next thing it says to do, it says to insert it, secure with wood glue. So we're going to take the door itself. We're going to fill these tracks with some glue. Trying not to leave any on the white surface, because wood glue is yellow. It will be very obvious that it's there on a white door. So run this up here. Take that out of there. Oops. Take the excess off. Slide this in here like that. It's not grabbing a hold again. These doors are always a little bit tricky to get to go together. Hole is located closer to the bottom of the door. So this hole here for the door knob, come on, is going to go towards the bottom of the door. So I'm going to turn this over, put some glue in here. Most important spot for the glue is going to be down here towards the bottom, where it's actually going to grab the frame piece. Same with towards the top, because that's where the cross part of the frame is going to go. But I do still need to put it as much as I can along the entire door. Like that. And we're going to take this, slide it onto what we already have, just like that. And then we're going to take this top horizontal piece, put a little bit of glue across the track, get that out of there, and a little bit on the two tabs on either side. And in this build, as well as the Disney house, these doors are the bane of my existence. Once they're set, they're great, but giving them time to set up sometimes can be a pain, and sometimes, I felt it shift a little bit when I was going to set it down. It'll fall apart at the drop of a hat when you're going to set it down. So let me get this down. We put the cap on the super glue before it all dries out. A bottle that size won't dry out fast, but it'll create a film across the top, and it'll just really suck trying to get any glue out of it then. Okay, so we've got the two knobs and the hinge pins. If I can get this last hinge pin to come out of there. There we go. So we're going to take the doorknobs. This is all stuff that I've done on every door in this build. Pretty much the same stuff in the Disney house. So we're going to take this. Keep from dipping the whole thing into the glue. Just a little dab of glue on the knob itself, on the pin that goes in here. So we're going to push this into place here. We're going to turn it over. We're going to grab the other side and do the exact same thing. And these should meet up in the middle. That's not working very well. These should meet up in the middle and glue themselves to each other, as well as to the door itself. So I'm just kind of lining them up like that to where they're pretty much the same on either side. I'll set this over here like this so the pins are not setting on each other. And the next thing they want you to do is take, I'm sitting here with it upside down. Okay, so they want you to take this piece here with this hole in it. So this hole in this one is going to be on the same side. We're going to take the pieces, we're going to push them together like this. Into place, pretty much. But I have found no, that's the way I've had to build every one of them. Never mind. I was going to try and put it into the door itself, but it's not going to work out very well. We're going to put some wood glue on here. Again, this is one of the parts that you, when you're doing it, you set it in place and then you leave it. So I'm going to put glue cross member down here. This is actually going to be the part that holds it really together. I'm going to put this on here like this. Already got glue there. Put some here. And some up here. Let me move this out of the way while I push these two together. And then I'll slide this part in here, and hopefully everything will be square. Sorry if my bat head gets in the way. But something like that. And I'm going to pause here and let this set up for about 5 minutes, and then we'll press on from there. Okay, it should be set up well enough now. And I'm about to install the door upside down. So the first thing you do is you take, or the next thing we do on this is we take one of the pins, we dip it into the glue, because once it's in place, the glue will hold it in its hole. If I can get it to go in there. Come on. Usually these are not that hard to get to go into place. Get in your home. That one's actually very solid in there. There's no way that's ever coming out. Then you take this pin without breaking the door. You put it into that hole up at the top, which right now has something blocking it. There we go. So I'm going to put that pin into the hole at the top of the door. This one again is a little bit stiff, didn't want to go in there. I'm going to turn the door upside down. Put the second pin into the bottom of the door frame. It's like these pins are a little bit too large this time. Come on. Once you get it started in there, then you got to get it to go into the door itself. Very odd. Okay, it appears that the hole is blocked. That is very odd, the way this is acting. Let's see what we can do to fix this. Find the right magic box of stuff. Usually I don't have to do this. It's kind of surprising to me that it's giving me this trouble. Let's see. Okay. What I did was I just used the edge of the bit to scrape along the sides of the hole. There we go. And I see what the problem is. I'm not going to be able to do much about it. One side of the pin appears to be frayed or expanded a little bit from the way they cut it. So hopefully I've got there it is. There's a burr on it right there, and I just caught it. Just caught the burr and almost lost the pin. Still there. See if that will let me put it in. And what I'm also going to do is do the other side into the hole. This can be a little bit tricky because I've got to line it up into the door frame as well and not break the door. Put this bit away. Grab a little bit of glue here. Put it over top of the pin. The glue is drying out. Is the problem. Just put it over top of the pin to hold the pin in place until I get the pin where it's gonna, or the door frame where it's gonna go, which means I need to move stuff out of the way. Remove these pieces. Move the glue tray. Get the door over here. And which wall is this going into? They've got it going into this room here, coming from this side. So that the door will swing towards, when it goes through the wall into this room over here by the stairs, it will actually swing up against the wall here, which appears to have broken loose a little bit. Not going to be a big deal. Go ahead and take that railing back out. So we're pushing this in flush. Did not put any glue on it. Should have. Should be okay. Swing the door this direction. Let's see. Take assembled door, fit it in the door. It does not say. Attach the top frame, left and right, same way, using wood glue. It does not say to glue the door in place. What we're going to do, not that, this. What we're going to do is throw some more glue in here. We're going to put that glue along the edges of the door frame. We're just going to take it along here. We're going to spread it pretty thinly along the frame. And this is really the way that you hang a door, other than the pin at the top and the bottom. You have hinges instead. This is kind of the way you hang a door in a house. Except for this would push down into the wall next to the door frame. So we're going to push this into place here. Going to do the same on the other side. I'm trying to rushing a little bit because I need to get both sides and the top in place before it sets up, before the glue starts to set up and makes it to where it's really difficult to move this stuff around. So we'll set this one over here. Come on, there we go. We want to cover the side of the door frame. Make sure. Yeah, that's going to be good. And then we'll take the last piece, put glue on the back of it, and on the angled sides, so that everything should fit together and hold very nicely. This one's going to be the tricky one. Okay, let's push this down into place, push this one over, get rid of that excess glue right there. This frame piece is up too high. Come on, back where you need to be. I may have to take this one back off. This left-hand side is just a little bit off from where it should be. I'm gonna have to re-glue this one because it's sticking, but it isn't. Since the door frame did not go all the way through, or it went as far as it could go, but it's not flush on this side, so it's not wanting to catch very well. So we'll put a little bit more glue on here. Top is where it needs to be, so we're going to take this, gently work it into where it needs to be, which is about like that. There's a slight gap here at the top, but if I move it beyond that, the door frame or the door as it swings through the frame knocks it off. So we're going to leave it at that. Small gap there, not a big deal. This side looks perfect. This is the side that you're going to actually see more of because there's going to be a larger opening. We'll put this banister back where it belongs. Not going to glue it because it'll come out of there, and it's going to have to come out of there, I think, for these stairs to go in place. And these stairs should go in something like that eventually. But that, my friends, is all there is to do in this issue. And as usual, this is one of the issues that on the Moomin house has taken a significant amount of time. Hope you're enjoying this build. I am enjoying bringing it to you. Gonna have to do some work here to get that to stay together. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified of any time I post new content. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the Moomin house or any of my builds. I answer all of them if I can. If you leave just emojis, it's kind of hard for me to answer those. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great day. Have a great day tomorrow. And I will see you in the next video or stream.
Buckman's Model Mania, hard work models, plastic modeling, wooden models. Buckman's Model Mania, hard work models, plastic modeling, wooden models.